Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a rematch battle from the 2004 format. On one side, we've got the Blaziken deck as used by Chris Fulop, the Masters Division runner-up in the 2004 World Championships, going up against the Team Magma's Groudon deck, as used by Tsuguyoshi Yamato, the World Champion of 2004. So we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to my Twitter account, at Holland_Phantom, so you don't miss out on any new Pokemon TCG content. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle! And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Blaziken side, we've got Dunsparce as the active Pokemon, and on the Groudon side, we've got Zangoose as the active Pokemon. The Blaziken side is going first, attaching a Fire Energy to the Dunsparce and attacking with Strike and Run. The player gets to search the deck for 3 basic Pokemon to put on the bench. The ones chosen are going to be a Skitty and 2 Torchic all coming down. And that's going to be it for the first turn. Over to the Groudon side, there we see Groudon coming down to the bench. And the energy is going to be a Fighting-type energy coming down to the active Zangoose. The player then activates their supporter for the turn, TV Reporter, drawing 3 cards from the deck, and then discarding a Fighting-type energy from their hand. There we see the trainer card, Team Magma Ball. The player flips a coin, and they get heads. They can search the deck for any Team Magma Pokemon to add to their hand. Okay, and the Pokemon they choose is going to be the Camerupt. It does need a Numel to evolve first, though. Okay, there we see a second Team Magma Ball. Here's another coin flip. Okay, it's Tails that time. They can still search the deck, but only for a basic Pokemon this time. And they're going to be choosing a Baltoy to bring down. Okay, just building up their bench. There's the attack. Call for Family, searching the deck once more for another basic Pokemon. There we see the Numel coming down. So it's going to be evolving on the following turn, because we do know that the player already has a Camerupt in their hand. Back over to the Blaziken side. Skitty evolves into Delcatty, which then activates its Poke Power Energy Draw. The player discards the Lightning-type energy to draw 3 cards from the deck. Okay, let's see what they get. We've seen Oddish coming down onto the bench. And there's supporter for the turn. Steven's Device, drawing 4 cards. 1 card for every Pokemon on the opponent's side. And there's the attack, Strike and Run, once again, searching the deck for 1 more Pokemon to put onto the bench. It's going to be Team Aqua's Electivire. Back over to the Groudon side, there we see Numel evolving into Camerupt. And Baltoy also evolves into a Claydol. The manual attachment is going to be a Darkness Energy coming down to the Groudon. And then we see Camerupt's ability activating, Overheat, getting a Fighting-type energy from the discard pile equipped onto itself. It does take 20 damage from the ability, though. And now we see Claydol's ability activating, Magma Switch, moving the energy off the Camerupt onto Groudon. It just needs 1 more energy to be fully powered up. There's another Call for Family attack, searching the deck for another basic Pokemon. And it's going to be a second Groudon coming down. So both players are just setting up their benches to start dealing damage as quickly as possible. Okay, let's see what the Blaziken player can do now. Their supporter is going to be Oracle, searching the deck for any 2 cards to put on top of their deck. And then using Delcatty's ability, they can draw these 2 cards. So between these 2 cards in combination, they can basically search their deck for any 2 cards they need. Speaking of which, there's the Energy Draw, discarding a Fire-type energy, drawing 3 cards from the top. There we see Torchic evolving into a Combuskin, and there's Rare Candy to evolve the second Torchic into the Blaziken. Electivire also evolves into a Manectric, and there we see Blaziken's Poke Power Fire Starter, getting a Fire Energy from the discard pile to equip onto itself. And now Dunsparce is going to be attacking with Sudden Flash, hitting Zangoose for 10 damage, and the coin flip was Tails for the attack, so there's no paralysis. Okay, over to the other side. A Fighting Energy comes down to the Groudon, so it is now fully powered up. And Zangoose is going to be paying the retreat cost to promote the Groudon. And this should be the first KO of the game. Yeah, no more cards are played. There's the attack Pulverize, taking the KO against Dunsparce. And Groudon has taken their first prize card. Blaziken comes into the active spot, and now the benched Combuskin evolves into Blaziken EX. It is the strongest attacker in this deck, but it does need 4 energy to be fully powered up. Fire Starter ability equipped a Fire Energy onto the bench Manectric. And the manual attachment was a multi-energy onto the active Blaziken. Main extract activates its ability, Power Shift, moving the energy away from itself onto the active Pokemon, so Blaziken is now fully powered up. Now Steven's advice draws 5 more cards from the deck, and the player benches another Torchic. There's energy draw, discarding a fire energy to draw 3 more cards from the deck. And there's Rare Candy to evolve Torchic into a second Blaziken. Now they have access to 2 Fire Starter abilities. There's a second one activating, getting a fire energy to equip onto the Blaziken EX. There's the attack, sending me the Fire Stream, discarding an energy off of Blaziken, and then hitting Groudon for 50 damage, along with 10 more damage to every Pokemon on the opponent's bench. So a pretty powerful attack. Let's see how the Groudon player can respond. There's a Stadium card, Desert Ruins. It's going to be dealing 10 damage to every EX Pokemon between turns. So just the Blaziken EX. And Overheat gets a Fighting type energy onto Camerupt. It takes another 20 damage. And now Claydol moves the energy off the Camerupt onto the second Groudon to start getting it ready to attack on a future turn. Okay, there we go. Does the player have any trainer cards or supporter cards to use? There we see a Zangoose coming down to fill up their bench. And now Zangoose is going to be getting a Rainbow Energy. It does take 10 damage from the Rainbow Energy. Okay, no more cards are played. There's the Pulverize, hitting for 60 damage. 50 base damage, plus 10 more from the Darkness Energy. And between turns, Blaziken EX does take 10 damage. Okay, on the Blaziken side, another Rare Candy is played to evolve Oddish straight into Bellossom. And now Bellossom activates Poke Power Heal Dance, healing 20 damage off of the active Blaziken. There's Delcatty's ability, Energy Draw, discarding another Fire Energy to draw another 3 cards from the deck. The manual attachment is going to be a Fire Energy to the active Blaziken to fully power it up, and there's another 2 Fire Starters, getting 2 Fire Energy from the discard pile onto the bench Blaziken EX. Now it just needs 1 more energy to be fully powered up. And there's the Fire Stream attack, taking the KO against Groudon to take the first prize for Blaziken. And now 10 damage comes down to every Team Magma Pokemon on the bench. Oh, and Blaziken EX also takes 10 damage from the Desert Ruins. Okay, the second Groudon is going to be coming into the active spot now. It does need 2 more energy to be fully powered up. Let's see if the player can do it. Okay, yes, they have exactly what they need. Team Magma Energy. It does count as a double energy, providing Fighting type and Darkness type energy. And the supporter for the turn is going to be a Copycat. That was a lot of cards in the opponent's hand. Okay, the Groudon player gets to shuffle away their hand and draw the same number of cards as their opponent has. Okay, there's the cards being drawn. I think that was 10 cards total. Okay, it's going to be a huge hand. That should help them out quite a bit. There we see a third Groudon coming down to the bench. And now the active one attacks with Pulverize, taking the KO against Blaziken and taking a second prize. Okay, the Team Magma Energy is discarded. It's only good for 1 turn. And now Blaziken EX is going to be coming into the active spot. It takes 10 damage between turns from the Desert Ruins again. And now Bellossom gets to heal 20 damage with its ability. Okay, another Torchic comes down to the bench for the Blaziken side, and the player activates a Friend Ball, choosing their opponent's Camerupt. And now they can search the deck for any Fire-type Pokemon to add to their hand. It's going to be a Combuskin to evolve the Torchic on the following turn. Do they have the Fire Energy to fully power up this Blaziken EX? Okay, there's a Fire Starter, getting a Fire Energy onto the main Ectric. Fire Starter can only get energy onto benched Pokemon, not the active. And that's why this main Ectric is very important for the strategy. It activates its ability to move the energy away from itself onto the active Blaziken. And there's the attack. Volcanic Ash, discarding 2 Fire Energy to hit any Pokemon on the opponent's side for 100 damage. So they take the KO against the active Groudon, and now both sides are tied, 4 prizes remaining apiece. The next Groudon comes into the active spot now. It's got no energy on it though. There we see Claydol's ability, moving the Rainbow Energy off of the Zangoose onto the active Groudon. And the player has a second Team Magma Energy to fully power it up. There's Mr. Bright's Compassion as a supporter for the turn, picking up the damaged Camerupt. And now the Numel comes back down to the bench, and there's the attack. Pulverize, hitting for 70 damage. So with the inclusion of the Desert Ruins, Blaziken EX is down to just 50 HP. Okay, Blossom heals 20 damage off the Blaziken. So now it has 70 HP remaining. The Torchic evolves into a Combuskin. And we see a Lightning Energy coming down to the active Pokemon. Followed by the Fire Starter, getting the Fire Energy onto main Ectric, which is then going to get moved up to the Blaziken EX. So now, once again, it is fully powered up. There's another Volcanic Ash attack, discarding 2 Fire Energy from itself to take the KO against the third Groudon, and that is 3 prizes taken by Blaziken. Okay, one of the Zangoose comes into the active spot now. It doesn't look like they can take the KO against this Blaziken just yet. The Numel evolves back into Camerupt, and there's the supporter for the turn, Team Magma Conspirator, searching the deck for the 4th Groudon card. And a Fighting Energy. The player does have to be careful not to bench this Groudon, because Blaziken can take the KO against it with Volcanic Ash. Okay, a Fighting Energy comes down to the active Zangoose. And there's the Overheat from the Camerupt, getting a Fighting Energy from the discard pile onto itself, taking 20 damage from the ability. And there's Cladle's ability, Magma Switch, moving the energy off the Camerupt onto the bench Zangoose, just spreading the damage, the energy around. And there's the attack, Call for Family, searching the deck for another Zangoose. So the player's going to be waiting to bench their Groudon until they have enough energy in play to take the KO against his Blaziken. Okay, on the Blaziken side, there's Blossom's ability, healing 20 damage off of Blaziken. Pretty much just negating the Desert Ruins. Combuskin evolves into another Blaziken. There's 2 Fire Starters, getting 2 energy onto main Ectric, which then get moved up to the active Pokemon. And now the combo is complete. This Blaziken EX can attack every single turn. There's the manual attachment of Fire Energy onto the main Ectric. And there's the Volcanic Ash attack, targeting the opponent's Claydol, so they can no longer move the energy around. They take their 4th prize card, and the Groudon side is down by 2 prizes. Things are not looking good for them. Okay, let's see what they can do. There's the TV reporter, drawing 3 cards in the deck and then discarding 1 card from their hand. They discard Steven's Advice. Okay, there we see the Groudon coming down, along with the Baltoy. Okay, they have the Team Magma energy to fully power up the Zangoose. There's Camerupt's ability, Overheat, getting the Fighting Energy onto itself. And there's the attack, Team Play, hitting Blaziken for 10 damage times the number of Team Magma Pokemon in play. It's going to be enough to take the KO and take 2 prizes. So that Team Magma's Groudon has caught up. 2 prizes remaining for each player. One of the regular Blaziken comes into the active spot. Both of the Fire Starters are activated, getting more energy onto main Ectric. And now all 3 energy move up to the active Blaziken with Power Shift. So it's now fully powered up, and it's going to be able to take the KO against Zangoose. As Zangoose is down to exactly 50 HP remaining. Okay, there's the support for the turn. Town Volunteers, searching the discard pile for Lightning Energy, a second Lightning Energy, and then a full line of Blaziken EX. Torchic, Combuskin, and Blaziken all coming back into the deck to be used on a following turn. And there's a Fire Stream attack, discarding a Fire Energy off the Blaziken and taking the KO against Zangoose. Blaziken is down to just 1 more prize. They're close to winning this game. There we see all the damage coming down onto the benched Pokemon from the Fire Stream. And now the final Groudon comes into the active spot. Baltoy evolves into Claydol. And then we see the supporter Maxi searching the discard pile for any Team Magma Pokemon to put onto the bench. And it's going to be a second Claydol. With Maxi, the Pokemon does not have to be a basic Pokemon. And now with access to 2 Claydols, they can move 2 energy from their side of the field. So the energy from the Zangoose and the Camerupt goes up to the active Groudon. It just needs 1 more energy to be fully powered up. But first, here we see a Pokemon reversal. Here's a coin flip. Oh, it's Tails. It does nothing. Otherwise, it could have chosen one of their opponent's bench Pokemon to bring into the active spot. Okay, they have a second Pokemon reversal, and a second Tails, and a third one! Finally a Heads! And they choose their opponent's Manectric to bring into the active spot. Manectric is weak to fighting-type Pokemon. If the player has energy in hand for the Groudon, they can take the one-hit KO, and yes, they have the Darkness energy to knock out this Manectric. There's a Pulverize attack, taking the KO, and taking the 5th prize. Both players are now tied at 1 prize remaining apiece. The next KO will decide this game. Blaziken comes back into the active spot. There's both of the Fire starters, getting 2 Fire energy. Onto Bellossom! Okay, this might be the game. If the player has a multi-energy, Bellossom can take the KO against Groudon. And yes, they do! Bellossom can hit Groudon for weakness, so Solar Beam can hit for 100 damage. Bellossom goes into the active spot. There's a Solar Beam taking the KO against Groudon to take the final prize card. And there's the handshake! Blaziken is your winner! So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.